with World Indoors silver medalist Neil Gourley back at the old place, back at Eastwood, where you used to train with Giffnock North, and displaying that silver medal. Neil, how does it feel? How proud are you of that achievement?
Very proud of it. For a number of reasons, but the recent ones being I'd competed this season at the European Championships. I hadn't gone so well, and I wanted to prove to myself and to some other people behind me that there was a bit more there this year. So proud of the way I kind of bounced back from that. But just the achievement itself, being in my first global medal, is a huge one, and not one I ever thought I'd do as a youngster. When I got my start with Claire, who's now taking the youngsters through their session, never believed I'd do that. So proud of that as an achievement itself.
If you don't mind me saying, I think bouncing back has characterised your career. This isn't the first time that you've had a sort of disappointment or an injury or a non-selection or a fourth in a final, and you come back stronger, it seems to be. Is that something that's just developed over the years, or do you think that's inbred in you?
Yeah, I've had a fair amount of setbacks. I mean, most athletes have, maybe some more than others, but I've always been kind of resilient that way, I suppose. Maybe it's stubbornness, it's just kind of refusing to take no for an answer at times, but I've always been able to sort of pick myself up when things are down or have gone against me, I suppose. I mean, I've also considered myself very lucky in that I've had a lot of things go right, and I think, often you talk about the bad breaks, but equally I've had so many good breaks along the way that I can't dwell on the sort of bad moments, and I always take 24 hours, 48 hours. I allow myself to feel bad about the low points or the ones that don't go your way, but after that it's a case of picking yourself up and doing whatever you can do to make the situation better, whatever's in your control.
A few stats flying around, I'm sure you're aware of some of them. I think your 11th final out of 12 that you'd been selected for, which I thought was a very impressive one in terms of consistency, but also one that we've been pushing ourselves. 9 championships out of 10 that a Scottish athlete, at least one Scottish athlete, has been on the podium. I mean, you were involved in that in Istanbul a couple of years ago, and you've kept the record going again this time to make it 9 out of 10. How does that feel to be part of that? Because I try to say to people, athletics is really tough. There's no guarantees it will happen the next time.
Those are 2 great stats. The sort of personal one there, the 11 or 12 finals, I hadn't really realised until I read that this weekend, so that was good to point out. I didn't realise I'd been quite that consistent, and the one that I didn't make was by about 100th of a second, unfortunately. Yep. COVID and all the rest of it. Anyway, that's another story. But in terms of the Scottish Athletics one there, that's brilliant, really. I mean, it just wasn't the case when I was growing up that we'd have such consistent success. We're so, we're in an era right now where it's not taken for granted, but I think people sort of expect that this Scottish level of performance is going to be there, and recently it has, and I hope it will continue. But really proud to be a part of that. It's not something I ever thought I would be, so glad to do my bit, glad to hopefully be inspiring others a little bit, like the youngsters at Giffnock North tonight, because like I said, it wasn't always the case when I was younger, so it's such a welcome thing that it's so commonplace now, and people are hopefully inspired by it in Scotland.
Was coming into these championships fully fit after a good winter behind you, was that significant, a key factor, do you think?
It was, yeah. I spent all of the winter kind of injured last year, and it just made things a lot more enjoyable. This game is so much more fun when you're healthy and you're not having to sort of battle back to fitness and not having to cross train. You're not having to do all the things that you kind of don't want to do as an athlete. But more than that, in terms of performance, obviously it's just going to pay dividends, especially when you get to the business end of the season and you're relying on a lot of the strength that you built over the winter. I felt like this season I got better every single race, as opposed to last year in the summer where I was kind of clinging to fitness by a thread because I hadn't had that big sort of base phase of training behind me. So of course it was a big benefit, and reaping the rewards kind of at the business end of the season is exactly what I want. So I'm glad that the preparation kind of lended itself to, you know, a big performance when it really counted this year.
You certainly did, and I think we described it just the other day on the website as the global medal that your career deserves. You know, with the backstory and all the years of hard work, the years of progression, the years of improvement. I hope you feel that way yourself.
I mean, I don't feel like I deserve anything in particular from the sport. I don't think the sport owes me anything, but goodness, I've been working at this for a long time, and I have been in the position where I know I've been capable of it, so it does mean a lot for me to finally get that global medal. Whether I deserved it or not, that's another thing. There are plenty of deserving athletes out there every single time who have worked hard as well, yeah, really proud of the work I put in to get to that point, because for years I feel like I've been close, but it's one thing saying I'm ready to do something, it's another thing actually going and doing it.
Congratulations, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you.